All right. Here it is. You guys have, so where would you have, where are you guys, doing, my brain, where are you guys, doing your long rest?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
In the ruins up high? Like, don't we have a nice spot there?
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah,
the side on the same cave where we slept before?
Yeah, so you guys, if you guys would,
home.
if you guys wish to slumber within the vault, you may do so. I'll turn this off because now we're over in Colbeer again. And today, you guys were planning on journeying to the ancient prison ruins, I believe.
Yeah.
But there were a couple of things that you guys were interested in doing. So you'll be long resting in the ruins of Colbeer.
Nice.
Also, Vizika, you wanted to check back in the infernal, or the where the cellar underneath had burned down from the pile of corpses to see if there was any sweet treasures.
Yeah, you said the fire would be burning for a while, so I figured we'd swing back on our way back. But I mean, if the fire burnt out overnight, then yeah, sure. Also,
the DM was wrong. The fire went for a while that day, and then the morning came, and then it was you actually see the pillowing smoke from the cellar.
Wow. And then Marius also wanted to look at where I got that book that I blew my nose into.
Nodders.
So there's 2 cellars to explore potentially, really quickly.
Oh yeah. Oh, but you can take your time. He says, realizing we're at session 6 and we just finished session 2 content. D&D, everyone. Why plan anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
I know that feeling all too well.
Crowned had a 5-session campaign planned, and now it's on session 42. Let's go.
They were meant to die and hang keep. They somehow escaped.
We've been in the same dungeon for 30 episodes.
Fuck, yes.
Honestly, I wish this happens to us.
No,
No.
it
No.
is.
Well, not the stuck in the dungeon part, but just, like extending the sessions part.
Well, bravo, it is. So you're good to go.
Okay, we're staying late. Should I cancel my plan?
No, don't cancel your plan. Momo, are you in Minecraft right now? If I log in Minecraft right now.
I am not in Minecraft.
She's in Conan.
I am not in Conan. I hate it here.
I'm logging in.
I'm
logging in too. I love Conan.
Wait, you love Conan?
I do. Oh my god, we burned out real hard on Conan Exiles. Yeah.
And I love Minecraft.
We got a long history in that game, so.
Buddy.
I have 72,000 hours in it.
Oh my lord!
Oh.
Holy shit! Okay.
Jesus Christ.
I may love that game
I'm
a little bit much. It turned from my guilty pleasure to just absent-minded.
Uh-oh.
I think I'll play some Conan today. It's not even like, man, I really shouldn't play. It's more like, yeah, it's me now.
So, sorry to interrupt this conversation, but Dungeons and Dragons. You guys have you guys have completed your long rest after the harrowing battle against the corpse pile of Colbeer. After you've spent your long rest tending to your wounds, you guys have completed the long rest successfully. Who wants to do what first?
Fish.
Well, to be fair, Gareth did say that first, so let's go ahead and
He's got to get up early anyways, because
that's true, to fish.
Crack of dawn.
I respect this. Okay, I'm checking your inventory very quick. Oh yeah, that's right. You caught one. You got fingies. You caught one. You caught one fish. Yes, that is correct. Marius burnt the ever-living shit out of it. I remember.
That's why I wanna help him this morning when he's getting up and getting ready to fish. I'm gonna help him with some guidance as recompense.
Okay. Well, as you cast the spell of guidance upon Gareth, I must inform you that guidance will not assist when it comes to fishing, for you see it happens over an hour period of time. So unless you continuously pat up, wait, where?
She's restarting.
She's playing
okay.
Conan.
I looked over, I saw a gap in the map, and I went, oh,
Momo is now playing Conan Exiles.
we're missing something. All right, well, Gareth said it first. Fish. You have only caught one fish so far, but that's okay, because maybe more skill will take place upon you.
Yeah.
But, yes?
You know, I'll retract my guidance. Can I use my magical tinkering to assist him?
Explain this to me.
He has a very bog standard fishing rod, right?
Mm-hmm, correct.
Could I not use my magical tinkering in some way or capacity to instead perhaps strengthen his line or perhaps strengthen the rod in some way, shape, or form?
Strengthen my rod.
Always, brother.
Oh my. Oh my god.
Let me
go. I like this.
Ooh.
Dog's excited too.
Sorry, anyways. Brotherhood, you know, it's really really pog.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Static, objective. I will allow a gamble roll, a fate roll, if you will. Since I do not see that any trait of the magical tinkering where it would assist. I will instead see if through wild and random experimentation, perhaps you can strengthen the structural integrity of the rod, add a glisten that to the line in the hopes to attract fish. Yeah. So, but if you take this gamba, it will take away one use of the magical tinkering. It does not guarantee that this will succeed. With that said, do you still wish to tinker?
I wish to help my brother, so yes.
Okie dokie. Also, that's right. This is day 2 in a suit of full armor. Marius, did you sleep with your armor on?
I used a muscle relaxer.
Ah, there it is. Okay, it has reset. I have reduced.
Perfect.
Yeah, you're good to go. You've used the muscle relaxer, which has helped you ease into the full plate. Resetting the cooldown for that. Gareth, do you don? What's it's donning armor is wearing it. What's the reverse?
Gareth
of that?
is fine sleeping naked.
Doffing.
Dothing. Thank you very much. Okay, so you've been dothing your armor during the evening hours. Okay,
Yes.
it's only Marius that has been staying in the full plate. All right, you have said you will spend your magical tinkering abilities to help out where you can. So with that used, I will make a fate roll. Remind people what a fate roll is. I roll a d20. If I roll 10 or higher, fate is favorable to you. If I roll below a 10, it is unfavorable fate. In this case, do the magic tinkering do the cool thing or do it not do a cool thing? It don't do a cool thing. You kind of like begin to like hammer away at this very taking a coin of phrase from CrownedDM, this very bog standard rod, and you start to just, you know, you put little pieces here and there, you mess around with the baubles a little bit, and the rod itself is glistening. It shines within the dead sky of Asmodia, but it doesn't really provide much other than that. In an attempt to strengthen your brother's rod, it is only meant for show and nothing for practicality.
One day.
One day. Gareth, you go off to fish. You go over to the pile, that water that's been gathered around once again. You see shadows within it. What kind of fishing are you doing? Was it still fishing or fly fishing?
It was fly fishing, I believe.
With the dexterity check?
Yes.
Okie dokie. So, one moment, please. Boop, boop, boop. Checking my table. All right. So, as mentioned before, with fishing, you get 2 attempts. You essentially are spending 2 hours in an attempt to catch anything. We will see if anything bites the line today. During the first hour, nothing bites the line. During the second hour. Oh, are you using your troll fingies?
Yes, fingies, please.
Okay.
So that I'll have one left after this.
I shall place upon the fingies. You have 2 currently.
Right.
All right.
After the next cast, but yeah.
Yes. So that 9 actually is something we'll catch onto the line. Oh. Allow me to roll to see what it is. Okay. Ooh. It is a heavy strike. Go ahead and give me the check with your fly fishing, with your dexterity check, please.
Okay.
As you pull back the line, you do not catch what was on the line, but the good news is the fingy still remains upon the line. It did not, but unfortunately, whatever was on the line, you did not successfully catch.
All right.
So we will do another roll. Ooh. Okay. One moment, please. What? You get a big catch on the line that almost pulls you in. There's a lunker on the line. And it may have been the same lunker that got away before.
Oh, man. I would call out to Marius. I've got something big here! And then get to my fishing. Not that it would help, but...
Yep. Marius, you hear echoing off into the east as you just kind of see, I'd imagine Gareth just holding on to his line. You see the line bending as it shimmers with the magical tinkerings that Marius placed upon the line. Okay, this is it. Perhaps you shall gain a mastery of fishing with the catch of this strong and powerful fish. Give me a dexterity check, please. We'll be doing multiple checks against this lunker.
All right. Oh my god.
No.
Tragic.
The line immediately snaps, finger and all.
Damn.
Did you curse my rod, Marius?
Can sheets come out, like, hearing the commotion?
Yep.
Hey, what? She's, like, rubbing her eyes. She's got dark circles under her eyes. What's going on out here?
I had something big, but line broke. Now I need a new line. I don't know. All right.
What you doing? I told ya. And she'll pull her whip off her hip. Next time, try this. It'll help strengthen it.
I was too excited, and you were sleeping. You looked very calm and peaceful, so.
I wasn't.
Oh.
Hey, night terrors.
Oh, Jesus. All right, I'll try to remember for next time.
You could try now. You
DM,
did wake me up with all your hollering and stuff.
Is that legal, DM?
It is not. You have already done your
That's
two attempts
illegal.
for the day. Gareth just says that's illegal.
You're right. The game master will be around eventually.
You know, the master of fish.
That's a weird law.
Game master.
Asmodia is a complex place.
We're not even fishing
Gross.
with a license.
Time is convoluted. I think I'm done for the day anyways. I can't muster the will to continue this, let alone our normal travels.
Oh, is it a pride thing? It's a pride thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, you broke the line and all that? No, that's okay. That's okay. She'll, like, walk over and, like, pat him.
There's the other hand that comes up. Do not ruminate on this fleeting failure. The campaign is long. Victory will come.
Yeah,
Thank you, friend.
of course. You're gonna do fine.
Right, well, just if you have any leads on a new line, let me know.
Marius, you can fix that line very easily.
I know pickup lines, but I ain't got no fishing line.
Give me some time with it and I can have it fixed and prepared for you next time.
If you want to hit on the fish, let me know. She walks away.
Yeah, well, that would be great. Here you go. I'll hand over the rod.
You know, she might be onto something. You know, maybe instead of catching the fish, you should let the fish catch you, you know?
Okay, so now can I have a fish mode that's just a dating sim? And I date...
You're asking too much of me.
Charisma.
Oh yeah, I don't have a lot of that, so never mind.
Nodders. All right. So, Gareth, you've done your fishing. What's next on the agenda? Whoever speaks up first gets to do it.
Hey, big guy, do you still want to look at where I got that book?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Thanks, Marius!
Yes.
Yeah, but he's also a big guy.
Both are sufficient.
All right. Oh no, lead him over to the opening. That's most certainly too small for him to go into. Unless it's not.
It's not. I mean, it's the same thing as you. You just kind of like move over the side of the ruins that you've already pushed away of this. Let me see over here. Yes. Yeah, it's underneath one of the buildings. Marius, with your juiced up suit, you should be able to move it very easily.
He will attempt to do so.
And so you do. No check required. You descend down underneath the earth, where you will discover the makeshift lab. You will notice with the heavy dust of the room, where the book once stood, along with a couple of rattling footprints that seem to be around the table, and where the alchemical kit once was. A variety of beakers and old broken glass scatters about. You know a lab when you see one.
Would I be able to tell relative age of this place?
You can go ahead and make a history check, but it's safe to assume this is 1,000 years old, just as the rest of the ruins once were.
Any iconography of Divin Void?
No.
Hmm.
It seemed to have been someone's study.
Okay. Yeah, he'll take a look around, sort of. Then in that sort of motion as he's doing it, also producing the book and beginning to sort of flip through it.
All right. What languages do you know, Marius?
What languages are native to Asmodia?
So, I mean, common is obviously the easy go, but as far as language that is native to the Asmodians themselves, I mean, the common tongue is pretty standard. Other languages like Dwarven, Elvish, and the like are small, splintered sections. The populace of Asmodia is few and far between, so I have to leave that up to you. Common is obviously what you know, but what other language would Marius have dipped his toe into?
In the place that cheats us from, the more technologically advanced sort of cityscape.
In Kathos, yeah.
Kathos. What's the other language aside from common in Kathos?
In like Clayberry?
As Marius, although being from Asmodia, did spend a lot of his sort of more informative years across training.
So Clayberry is primarily, common tongue language. You would probably get a little bit of Goblin, a little bit of Gnomish, a little bit of Dwarvish if it's from Clayberry. Someone mentioned, a little bit of Orcish. Those would be just the more common languages underneath common. Elvish would probably be more towards the mainlands of Kathos, more towards the northern section. The southern is definitely, I would say, more, Orcish and Goblin. But if you were talking about northern Kathos, closer to the capital of Lendalin, you'd be getting more into, like, Elvish.
Well, then probably Elvish.
Okay. Just FYI, Cheats is from Clayberry, which is southern Kathos.
Clayberry. What the fuck is that?
That's the city you're from.
What?
Yeah.
I would never be from something called Clayberry.
Well, that's where you're from. That's where you got your drugs from a certain drug dealer, from what I've been informed.
That's where I got him from. I didn't know I was from there.
Yeah. Well, you had an apartment there. You would never be in a place called Clayberry because it's named Clayberry?
Yes! I would move!
Its nickname is Drug Town, so.
Yeah. It's
Maybe not.
Clayberry is where would have been the most affordable place that you would have been able to stay in. Everything else is kind of a bit pricey. So it's a matter of wanting to move and being able to move. And sure, you may have moved from Clayberry at some point in time before you head off to the Asmodia. That tale is for you to tell. Maybe you complained about Clayberry a lot. I don't know. But those are...
I don't know anything about the town, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so I can't RP being born there.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to be born there. You can literally have been born wherever you want. I was going off of what Summer said, because Summer said that you were from here, and I was like, oh, okay. Sick. And I just assumed it was something you talked about, so my apologies. Clayberry is a working town. It is the most affordable out of Kathos, but that also means it's kind of the most rundown out of it. It's a port town. It's where all the industry takes place. It's where all the nightlife takes place. It's the most interesting of the cities, as people try to find ways to be distracted from unfortunate lives. More in the northern section of Kathos, what was I going to say, is kind of like where things are a bit more prim and proper. It's closer to the capital, a little bit more higher end, which means it's a bit more expensive. But of course, if you'd like to send me your history of information where you think Cheats would have lived, please feel free. But I did have you as part of Clayberry at some point in time. So maybe you were there in passing. I'm not entirely
Maybe
sure.
she was in such a drugged up haze that she didn't really recognize her surroundings, but just wandered, wherever that took her.
Yeah, maybe. But I was going off of what Summer was saying, and I thought she talked to you about that, so I apologize.
Summer! Got some explaining to do!
I apologize for making that assumption, and I will do better in the future to ensure
Where's my summer DMs?
our facts are cleared up. Okie dokie. So, but for now, before there, are you cool if you were at Clayberry at least at some point in time? Because I actually already did a story where, your apartment was in Clayberry in one of the other parties. Is that okay, Momo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Even if it was in passing for a couple of months. So, I was going off of bad intel, so my apologies for that. Anyways... Let's see here. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah. Anyways, so with that, full circle. Marius, what language would you have learned?
It would be Elvish, probably the most prominent people we spend time with.
All right, so it'd still be Elvish. Okay. Then opening the book, you do recognize it of an Elvish language.
Oh!
Good pick.
All right. The journal appears to be written in Elvish. The ink long since faded, but a page of the journal still remains legible. It's faded because of all the snot that's just...
Hey, look, it was only for the first page, It's fine. I wiped it on the dusty carpet. It's fine.
Okay.
It was a lot of snot, though.
The journal reads, with the lack of an appropriate morgue here in Colbir, the people have tasked me to do something with the corpses that continue to pile up. Transferring the bodies to Terran K is no-go, with whatever the hell is happening north, has made those capable of corpse disposal in short supply. What's worse, we'll be dealing with diseases beyond the colon that has quickly spread. Bodies fallen left unattended will breed diseases undiscovered, assuming we survive whatever is happening in the capital. I have made a new balming solution and have requested the corpses be placed in the deepest part of the underpass, underneath the Div Church. with a makeshift fortification in the hopes we can at least slow the decay. My knowledge in alchemy may impress those with a simple cough, but this goes way beyond my training. And that's what the journal says.
Mario sort of pauses, taking sort of idle moments, flipping through the page, his helmeted head nodding, and then he eventually closes it.
Think of it more as a prelude to what we had saw. The people here were being overwhelmed with the amount of dead. Too many maladies and afflictions were burdening their people, and the person responsible for writing this was attempting to find a means of dealing with corpses. He or she bound them beneath the church in the location where we found that amalgamation.
Oh. You know, we never did go look at that room down there. Maybe now that the fire is out, we should explore a little bit.
I doubt there'll be anything left, but it's worth a look.
Oh, there was a lot of stone down there, and plus that door that you soldered shut. We might be able to look inside there now.
Very true.
All right. So you what is the next thing that you guys are doing? Are you immediately descending down into the burned wreckage underneath the shrine?
Yeah, after passing by the party, you know, you're like, hey, anybody want to come with?
Gareth just remembered that he has the robe that he found in one of the dressers in that left western room.
Yeah.
And so he'll take it over to Marius, assuming he can identify stuff and just. I found this before we were attacked by that grotesque being. It seemed somewhat out of place, or at least it caught my eye. So I don't know if it has any use for us, but perhaps you can discern that.
So, because you finished your long rest, you are actually able to identify the robe.
I'm joking. I know what it is.
Why would you ask me, brother?
I
You
wanted
already
to
know.
impress you. I'm sorry.
I am impressed.
You just look over. So, one moment, please. The robes that you have found are magical in nature. Scanning down. You have discovered. What the heck? So many notes.
The suspense is killing me.
There it is. Particularly well kept. It is magical in nature. By equipping the robe and attuning the damage dealt by cantrips, as well as the amount you heal from magic, increases by 1. That's what the robes do.
Do you have a card or?
You have a card? Like, what do you mean?
Like
So you can remember what it
Like a
does?
magic card that I could read.
Oh, yeah. Here, I will copy and paste it.
Thank you.
On a fucking card? What the hell?
Please.
There you go. If you do decide to add it to your inventory, I will do so.
Well, I don't think I can make use of this, but perhaps someone else could. Otherwise, we could perhaps sell it.
Does it constitute as a armor? Like a light armor?
Oh no, it's robes that you could wear over the armor or underneath it.
Oh,
Underneath. More padding.
who has cantrips?
Yeah, like, why can't it be a cantrip in this scenario? Like any spell?
Is it the amount you heal, like, as in when you do magic on someone else, or is this when you heal yourself or get healed by
Either.
magic? Either?
Oh, yep.
So it's other people healing you as well? Or
Oh,
just
no.
any healing
So,
that you do?
so if you do a Cure Light Wound spell, this 1d8 plus 1, it becomes 1d8 plus 2, whether you're
Okay.
healing yourself or other people.
Okay.
So then either Marius or Vanya? I mean, Marius or Vanya?
Put on the dress, Marius.
I
look cool.
would love that. I want him to wear it outside of the armor, so
Yes.
it's just like pulling
Like a
over.
cape.
Big old fluffy bathrobe right over the armor, please.
Do you remember that scene in Toy Story where they put that little pink dress on Buzz Lightyear? That's what it's like.
Please let the cape be pink. Is it pink? It's pink,
We can
isn't
dye
it?
it pink.
Nice.
We can make it happen.
Like hot pink.
Could I? Well, first off, does anybody want it? Who else can heal?
I can cure.
Anya.
I can cure wounds, yeah.
Yeah, but she thinks you look better in it, so.
Right. See.
As a
You're the
as
eye
an
candy.
I'm all about the
artificer-
fashion, and just
Eye candy. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it possible as an artificer to break it down and potentially imbue its effects into like another set of armor or clothing?
Yes.
Would that take how much does it cost resources? What's it cost?
That would be a project.
A project.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, it would be. But break it down and move it to something else. Which means, yes, you can place it upon your armor if you so wish. Your armor can have 2 uncommon traits equipped to it, or 1 rare trait. You can expand how many traits your equipment has by spending a project and spending some money to do that. But right now, your split armor that you're wearing has 0 traits. And 2 trait slots left unequipped.
Well, I don't have any damaging cantrips. All I have is heals. Does anybody have any damaging cantrips like Firebolt, Eldritch Blast, Ray of Frost?
Casterless.
That's a nopers.
Oh.
I mean, you could always give it to somebody else if anybody acquires any. But
That's what I was
you
gonna say.
heal the
We
most
could probably
right now.
save it.
Well, right, but I mean, you do the most healing right now, so unless we're gonna go into a fiery battle again and it's gonna burn off of you and then we'll lose it entirely, I mean, you might as well buff your heals.
What you thinking?
I mean, if
Experiment with
there's-
your style, Marius.
If there's no objection, Marius will break it down to its baser components and then start imbuing, sort of inscribing it into his armor, if that's at all possible as a project.
Okay. Please go ahead and give me a check with your artificer tools.
Very well.
Very good.
Very good.
Where's it's in my inventory. That'd be the smart thing to do.
Yes. Use specifically your tinker's tools. Or smith's tools. Either will work.
Okay. We'll do smith tools then.
The project was a failure. You were not successful in extracting the property, but good news is you still have the material to try again tomorrow.
That's right. It's like a once a day thing.
Correct.
Gotcha. Cool.
And you can only do 1 project a day, and that was your project.
Understood. Then I will. I'll save this for later, and sort of fold it up and
ball
stow
up
away.
the robes and stuff them in your bag. Okay. I'm just kidding. Anyways.
Marius would fold that robe, I think.
Yeah, he would absolutely.
He would like
Wear
just
it?
meticulously fold it, just
Well,
make it all.
While he's
Look
folding
nice.
it, Vazika tumbles into the burned wreckage of underneath the shrine.
Yeah, beckoning with her tail if anybody else is,
Gareth will join.
bored and wants to
I'm going.
adventure.
Oh, I'm going.
All right. As you descend underneath the earth, the air itself is heavy. Underground, still a little bit dim, with the lingering effects of the smoke from the inferno of the pile of corpses that you faced off against. You would arrive deeper down, seeing the entire bottom area just burnt down and scorched. The ornate wooden doors that once stood in the main hallway completely burned down. the room you had left uninvestigated, you would see what was left behind, just a small janitorial closet of brooms and mops and buckets, all of it burned down to ash as the pile of corpses lay before you. To the south of the room, you would see barely any semblance of a few skeletal, charred remains of bodies. But one thing that catches your eye, Vanya, the shinies that is within the corpse has formed almost like what you would imagine formed into diamond, except this sort of ruby red remains of some of the charred flesh as it completely hardened, transforming it into valuable material that you believe that anyone or Gareth or Marius may be able to transform using shadow crafting, as the maneuver arms dealers would be able to, the same way they transformed the shadowy orb from when you killed Cassius Gore into a magical item. You believe these remains, these rubied remains, can be transformed into pieces of magical armament as well.
So, and I'm the one who sees this first?
Or
is everyone else has noticed?
Yeah, for anyone who's down, you all would be able to see this.
Okay. Well. Would you look at that?
What is
Looks
that?
helpful.
Funny.
Vizika's gonna ignore that completely and go see if there's any like metal remains in that closet that Marius was trying to open.
Sure.
There was like a tool closet. There were some tools in there, so maybe if there's some metal that
Some little bits of chunks of metal melted down. Yeah,
Oh.
old pythons, old wrenches. A little bit of the door handles would have been clattered upon the ground after everything burned down.
I have a question.
What are you looking for exactly?
Maybe either something that can poke or something that's like uniquely shaped. She's just like looking for something that's like, kind of cool, I guess.
Okay. Well, I don't know what your definition of cool is.
I mean, she's a scavenger.
Okay.
She's kind of dumb and very intrigued.
Old
about the
pythons,
door
old pythons, a rusted out wrench, and some door and some of the door hinges from the burned
What is a
down
python?
door. You have 10 of them. It
Like a stake,
is,
right?
Yeah, it's a steel
Oh,
spike that you can
gross.
loop with a rope. Yes.
Ooh. Well, if they're not totally melted down, she would I would take the rest of them.
You take 4 pythons.
Nice.
Vanya, you had a question.
And the door handle.
It's relative to the spikes. Could those be transformed by someone like Marius, maybe into something I could use?
Yes, Gareth can transform pythons into iron spikes.
Gareth?
The blacksmith, correct.
But not today because I already fished, right?
No.
Oh.
Fishing as a downtime activity doesn't count as a project.
Oh, I thought they were okay. All right. I can make use of these. I have extra in my pack as well. I didn't even think about that.
Vizika's gonna side-eye the both of them, scheming to take away her pythons, and then with a little huff, toss them back over her shoulder, and then rummage through the doorknob and stuff, and pick up some just hunks of metal and the doorknob.
Okay, door handle. Some door hinges.
Hey, Vizika. Share with us, will ya?
What, you want the handles too?
Oh, I don't
gave
want
you
the
the pythons.
handles. I have no use for the handles, but just like the spikes.
Yeah, I already threw them at you over my shoulder because
you
I
did?
could see you looking at the thing that I wanted.
Hey now,
Well,
hey,
okay.
don't forget that I fixed up your staff, so I feel that
That's true.
doing the
Hey,
same for other
thank you,
party
Zika.
members.
I'm gonna rummage a bit through, and
good
I'm gonna get one of these and toss it back to Vizika.
Remember, we're not individuals, we're a team. Everything for
When
everyone.
did you get here?
He
I can be
walks down.
deceptively quiet when I want to be.
He walks down wearing a very comfortable bathrobe he had recently just found.
Helmet still on.
Yeah. We're a team. He takes a sip of coffee.
I made this myself.
All right.
Oh, I would have been happy if I had found just one, so you can have the other 3. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Gareth would walk over and pick up the whatever it was, the kind of gem that's formed.
So you see a scattering of gemstones.
Oh, multiple. Okay.
3 of them, to be precise.
Okay. And they're all the same. They're just this kind of,
correct.
yeah.
Now, here is the bad news. Just like before, you would need someone who is in the arts of shadow crafting, like the maneuver arm specialist back in Colkirk. But here's the good news. Someone who is proficient in 3 tools may have the ability to gain shadow crafting, aka looks over at Marius, proficient in thieves' tools, smithing tools, and tinker's tools.
And alchemist supplies.
An alchemist supplies. Show off. He would be able to attempt the shadow crafting.
Oh, you may be able to make use of these here, Marius. And he'll bring them over to him.
Marius.
There's this sort of he's already in the process of like counting out pitons and then handing 3 of them to Vazika.
Okay.
From his own supply, and then sort of holding the hand out to take the gems. How large are these things?
These are probably about half the size. Imagine your arm from from wrist to elbow. That's how big they are.
Whoa,
Jesus.
Real
Okay.
arm or Marius's arm? Like, whose arm are we talking about?
Like,
or
that's
like
true.
Vazika's arm?
Like a medium creature arm.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
They're hefty to carry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
With your assistance, we might be able to turn this into something useful for the party.
Certainly. I don't know that we could lug them too far without becoming exhausted.
The good news about shadow crafting is they do not take up a project slot. It means you are free to attempt to work with them. But we must see if you are able to learn how to shadow craft today. So, Marius, give me an intelligence check at advantage. A 14 is sufficient. You have now gained the apprentice knowledge of shadow crafting, allowing you to transform things like the shadowy orb, as well as the elements of the corpse of Colbir into magical arms and armaments. So I'm gonna add to your passive abilities, shadow crafting apprentice. You'll have to continue to refine your training on this as you find more powerful fragments of shadow to transform into even more powerful stuff. But this will allow you to craft things with shadow crafting with the materials that you find like this fairly easily.
So with this knowledge, could I apply the troll blood that we have to somebody?
Nodders.
And is this the same as
as like a project slot? No, it is not. So shadow crafting, as long as you have the base materials, you can transform them into armaments without having to make a check.
no, I was saying is the orb that we have the same as the orb that we got from Cassius Gore?
Yep. Which means you can
Understood.
get another piece of loot from there if you so desire. And you have 3 pieces from the corpses of Colbir. And now I get to show you what you can create from there. I mean, if you want.
Yes.
All right. So you'll also see some of these are linked to magical items that you can create. I will read them out for those that don't like to read. I respect it. So you've got 3 pieces of the corpse of Colbir, which means you can make 3 items from this list. We've got the Alchemy Jug, the Cloak of Protection, 3 uses of the Dust of Corrosion, Bane of the Restless. When applied to a weapon, this weapon deals maximum damage when the wielder hits a Restless. Raw Shadow. When applied to a weapon, it becomes magical. You have a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magical weapon. The Rings of Sacrifice. These rings come in linked pairs. You can use a bonus action to form a link to the creature attuned to the other ring. From then on, whenever that creature suffers damage, you may choose for them to only suffer half of that damage, and you take the rest. This effect continues until you end it as a bonus action, or until you or the other creature removes the ring. The effect isn't limited by range. A creature cannot be attuned to more than 1 ring of sacrifice. Also, as an add note that I have not written down here, if you unattune yourself to the ring of sacrifice, it dissolves away. So once you have attuned, then yeah, that's where you would be able to get that.
It's like for life or something.
I see we're getting married in this party.
Marius and Gareth finally getting together.
Yeah.
Finally officiating their
Bro
bromance.
rings.
Married.
Oh my
A
god.
brotherhood that will live through the eons.
Bro rings.
His name was
We're
not a name,
married.
but a request. Please marry us.
Wow.
That's setting a bad
Goddamn.
precedent that marriage is a sacrifice. I don't know if we
It's
should
come
get
to
that
fruition.
precedent.
Oh,
How many of these gems did we get? Just one?
3.
3.
Th-
Yo.
And you can build the same item if you so wish.
Holy fuck.
Oh my.
Does 1 gem make 2 rings?
Nodders.
so we could potentially all just get married to each other.
Hey, there's
Right?
5 of us, and you
well-
can't be
One
attuned to
ring
more
on my
than 1
left hand
ring.
and 1 ring on my right hand.
Holy shit. Okay.
I'll
yes.
marry myself.
Yes, you can. That would count as 2 attunement slots, and whenever you take damage, nothing happens.
Someone will attune with Brett, you know, and
I'm not
then.
here.
Okay. Well.
We should have brought an NPC along.
Yes.
You.
Next one we find.
Yeah. Next time he's like, "You're coming with us."
You're getting married.
Please, I already have a family.
You do now.
A new one.
Holy shit. Who wants some upgrades?
I mean,
I'm not
I
down
will-
there,
I
so
will-
I don't know anything
I will
about
take
it.
some upgrades.
I don't know how long we're going to be fighting Restless, but holy cow, max damage every time?
Is
They
that
said-
forever?
Restless are some of the more common enemies that we'll find here in Asmodia.
Yes, that is correct. That is the Bane of Restless, is a trait that you can apply onto your weapon. Whenever you strike against a Restless, it deals maximum damage. Period. Full stop.
Wow.
If you hit, obviously. You still have to hit him.
And our armor has 2 slots that we can fill in. How many do our weapons have?
2 slots.
So
Whoa.
Vizika could have her fire and Restless Bane.
Correct.
Holy shit.
On one hand, I think that sounds good, but I'm wondering if it would be worth it to like do just some cloaks of protection, because the Restless have been really easy to kill. Like, yeah, there's sometimes a lot of them, but we've dispatched them with 0 problems whatsoever. Like, would that hulking mass of a thing count as Restless?
That's troll blood.
No, the bodies.
Oh,
together.
the corpses? No.
Okay, yeah. So I wonder if it's worth it, because they're basically going to become like, you know, the slimes in the MMO to us.
Yeah, but he
potentially.
did summon Restless, so like,
Yeah, who knows how many
Anybody who's
monsters can do that?
Wait, did he
Yeah.
summon Restless, or did he summon just like corpses?
well, he raised the
Was
it-
corpses.
Yeah.
He raised the corpses into it, or it raised the corpses into Restless.
Yeah.
Down there. Yep.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm down for that.
What's
Cloaks of
everybody's armor
protection
class?
also seems like a good idea, though. Let's see.
In shield form, 20.
16.
Yeah, Bane
14.
of Restless could be good on Vanya's, because she's always, getting
So
shots
I
off her.
already have my,
Oh.
favorite enemy is already undead.
Well, that's just +2 damage straight up,
Right.
right?
Right,
And then
I'm just
max
saying that
damage
maybe-
on top of that?
Yeah. Yeah, but that would kind of waste that, no? Like the favorite enemy part, I mean.
I don't think so.
You know what I mean?
You would. It's like you rolled max damage and then +2 on top of that, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Speaking
okay, cool then.
Brett,
Well,
was
there you
her
go.
favored enemy automatically added? Because we just realized before the session that
Yep.
we'd never mentioned that.
If it wasn't mentioned, it wouldn't
Okay.
have automatically added.
Gotcha.
Well, there you go.
So we could give
Even
we
more
could give
powerful now.
Vanya Bane of Restless, and then pump out 2
Yes.
cloaks of protection for people with low armor classes.
Yes, yes.
Vanya also has low
quality.
arm class, so we
yeah,
could
but I
kit
stay in
her
the
out.
back for the most part.
Well, we could kit Vanya out. That's right. Get her a cloak of protection and Bane of Restless.
Whoa.
Or we
It's too
could
much
make
responsibility.
Gareth extra tanky, because he's always in there.
I mean, it could be that. It could be Gareth gets a cloak, and then Vanya gets a cloak and Bane of Restless.
Yeah.
No objections here, honestly. I'm not, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not. I'm gonna say yes.
I want to get
Cheats?
married.
Ah,
Well, I think Vanya has a good
Oh,
point
God.
that her she doesn't get hit as much, and she usually gets the fuck out of the way whenever anything's near her.
When I get married,
so
you get my radiation baggage, baby.
You know
With
what?
Baggage, it's called drugs.
you know what? We'll give. How about we
Drugs.
get Gareth a
Drugs.
cloak? We get Vanya Bane of Restless,
Mhm.
and then I get Cheats a Ring of Sacrifice.
yeah, are you gonna partner with her?
Yeah, I'll bind it to me.
Ooh.
You have to stand do all her drug damage.
Always carrying my burdens.
I want this RP'd, please. I
Absolutely.
want this all.
100%.
All
right.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
I think this is a good plan.
Gareth will officiate.
So forward. Oh my god.
Vizika will be the ring bearer.
Just put the ring on.
I'm gonna be maid of honor for Momo. All right. Okay. I got this. I got this.
Ooh, does the cloak of protection saving throws count as death saving throws?
Nodders.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it'll be perfect.
Looks at
Keep going
Gareth.
down and coming back up again.
Looks at Gareth.
Oh god. The only issue that sucks about that is he'll always know if I'm taking.
Yes. Almost like it was
You
planned.
Yeah, you thought it was marriage. It's just surveillance.
Just
Oh, why
FYI,
did that
Gareth,
hurt?
you are tuned to 2 out of 3 items now.
Oh yeah, the tattoo. Mm-hmm. Now the rings, you have to choose to half damage, right? And share damage.
Correct. It's a bonus action to turn it on and a bonus action to turn it off.
Okay.
And it's only one way or both ways?
One way.
One way. So I am
Oh.
the recipient.
Correct.
Gotcha.
So if you turn it off but you don't remove the ring, does turning it off at all like immediately make it dissolve, or
Nope.
can you like
You're still
turn it on
attuned
and
to the
off?
ring.
Okay.
It's only when you unattune yourself to the ring.
Gotcha.
You are
that it-
sworn to carry my burdens.
It's been that way since I've known you.
Lydia! It's fine. Hey, wait a minute. Hey. Hey.
With these items and sort of taking a moment to look at them and sort of discern purpose from them, you can see the lights on the edge of his helmet sort of flickering as if in thought, like very rapid motions, and
We need to find a place, preferably away from where any restless can be, at least for a short while. I have a couple of ideas.
Let me know if there's anything.
Everybody looks at you expectantly.
He doesn't elaborate at first. It's almost like he's like expecting you to read his mind with what he's looking at.
Clearly.
Hmm? Lead the way if you have any ideas.
Before everybody goes, Vizika's gonna quickly pat her over to that open door where the big hulking thing come from and just peek into that room.
You will. I mean, even though as you look inside the hallway completely scorched, stained and scarred from the corpses rotting there for over 1,000 years, you'll see the walls themselves kind of have a stickiness to it, a deep crimson red stain from where the corpses rested for so long.
Is it like just dead body stuff, or is it like something else looking, monstrosity looking goo?
It's just the dead bodies
Okay.
that have been lingering there for so long.
All right, boring. All right, she patters after Marius.
Sorry. There we go. Hey, there we go. All right. Marius, you are attuned.
If at all possible, he would like to lead them back to where we rested, hopefully a safe spot.
Yeah, Cheats is up there just sitting on some rubble, kicking her feet, singing as she looks up at the sky.
All right. Yeah, you would do so. Feel free
Perfect.
to continue.
Gareth, yours being first, would you be as kind as to come over here?
Certainly.
What I intend on doing with this portion of the crystal is a minor imbuement. It'll provide some modicum of protection against more physical attacks.
Fantastic.
As well, I imagine you found that while in proximity to that sort of gibbering mass, it was rather hard to find your footing.
Yes.
This imbuement should provide some assistance in that manner.
Incredible. Can't wait to fight another one.
It'll be too soon.
I'd like to imbue Gareth with a cloak of protection.
All right. So you've created the cloak of protection as you transfer. Go on.
Yeah, sort of affixing it along his back and sort of using some supplemental pieces from his own kit. It would project. Does Gareth have like a heraldry or family crest or anything?
No.
Then it would sort of project as like a half coat with the Sentinel's crest on it.
How's it look? He's like trying to look behind himself.
I think it's very fitting.
Thank you very much.
The cloak of protection has been bestowed onto Gareth.
Vonya, if I may borrow your glaive.
Vanya will nod and present glaive.
I'm going to imbue this doubly, one with my own infusion and with what we have found from that lingering corpse. Your ability to deal with threats both near and far is admirable. I'd like to see it that, at least in this situation, you won't be wanting for ammunition. As well, should we fight any more restless, as is your job as a sentinel, you'll be able to deal with them with the utmost lethality.
Vanya's eyes widen. Oh.
Imbue her weapon with Bane of Restless and then infuse it, dropping the her +1 enhanced weapon and instead infuse it with Repeating Shot.
That's the one, baby. That's the one.
Just so you know, Repeating Shot increases your bonus to attack and damage made with that weapon as a +1. And if the weapon lacks ammunition, it produces its own, automatically creating one piece of magic ammunition when the wielder makes a ranged attack weapon or attack with it.
Yo.
The ammunition created by the weapon vanishes the instant after it hits or misses a target.
Wow.
And you do max damage to Restless.
Wow.
Wow.
This is very exciting, Marius. Thank you. Vanya is gonna just walk away and just look at the glaive, just smiling and just cackling to herself a little bit. Just thinking about the possibilities of murder.
I aim to please. Cheats.
I may not be needing so many of these anymore, and Gareth will hand Zika some of the pythons that we found.
They'll still be useful.
I have a stash of my own if we need them.
Zika's just like, what's the quote? Something about. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. I don't remember the quote. Never mind. I didn't say anything.
Okay. So what were you saying? You were going over to Cheats, is that correct?
He was calling her over.
Cheats is over on like the edge of camp, just like it's like in her own world, singing to herself.
Cheats.
What?
Come
She
here
leans
for a
over
moment.
backwards, her head like dangling down.
That clawed hand gesturing her over.
Look, I ain't going down there.
I know, because you're coming over here.
Yeah.
Marius, you stare over at Cheats, who seems to still
Now,
Can a girl just get some time to herself?
you've had plenty.
She like sits up forward and like leans over like trudges over like body half like hanging down.
He waits till she's close enough.
Why?
Sit.
Oh, I'm a dog now? Is that what it is? Puts her hands on her hips dramatically.
Please.
Oh, yeah. Alright. She plops down with like one leg underneath herself.
Despite the efforts of that shambling mound, I did see what happened in that cellar.
Yeah. Shit's burning everywhere. We kicked ass. Good job, everybody. And she like looks around the like group.
I'm talking about what happened after the effects of your narcotic fell off.
What? What do you mean?
It's what happened when we first implanted that leg.
You see her like expression harden as she like kind of tilts her head forward and her eyes are looking up at him.
Now, you might not remember it, but I remember it clearly. The night terrors. You waking up after the operation. You told me as well that you would do better. That you would refrain from so much usage. And you have yet to do so. Indulging so much, in fact. I thought that when you had fallen over, your heart had given up.
Come on. Come on, guys. I'm fine. Look at me. She like pats her chest and her like legs. I'm fine. Come on. We had to do a job. I did the job. What do you want?
You did. But I need to assure that in the future, this affliction of yours doesn't potentially put the rest of the party at risk because of your nightmares or whatever you see when the narcotic fails.
Come on. Guys. I'm fine. Really. She like starts like scratching at like the back of her head.
Understand I speak from a place of concern and care.
Yeah. So is everybody else. I'm fine. What did you need?
Holding out the clawed hand between index and middle finger is a singular band.
Did you find it on somebody? We gotta return it to someone?
I made it.
Well, it's very pretty. You did a great job. She starts clapping at him, like, really happy, like...
Just to describe the side of the band, it is an obsidian ring, this darkened glass-like obsidian, with 3 curved, almost spikes that circle around the band to signify the sacrifice one must take. 2 of the rings, the one with the spikes is the one who is inflicting the damage. The other is sort of a more polished band, and that is the one that Marius is showing over to you.
There will always be moments where I won't be there. You're far too fast. But this little piece of insurance assures that at least no matter what, here or now, I can still shoulder some of your burden. Until you're fit to shoulder it on your own.
You just see this, like, dark, annoyed look in her eyes for a moment. Before she, like, blinks a couple times. Yeah. I mean... whatever works. Whatever makes you believe in me more, you know? I'll show ya. I'll show ya that we won't need this. We won't need it.
I look forward to that day.
She'll hold her hand out.
Puts it in her palm.
Besides, there's easier ways to get a ring on a girl's finger, you know. And she slides it onto her finger.
You feel this cooling grip upon your finger as the ring slides in and the attunement begins.
Whoa. That's a new feeling.
Marius, are you wearing the ring currently?
Yes, it is on his normal hand, bound around his middle finger.
So, during this time of the attunement, you will see it's, best way to describe it, you'll watch and feel as the ring with the circular spikes that are around it, you'll watch as the obsidian just kind of shrinks into the ring smooth for a moment, and then you feel the stab of your finger as the spikes of the ring go into it, gripping on tightly to you, Marius, signifying that you will be the one offering the sacrifice.
That hand clenches tight and then slowly relaxes.
Meanwhile, Cheetah's just holding her hand out, like, palm away from her, like, wow, look at the way it shines.
Yeah,
whatever you did to this, we're gonna have to do to my leg. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Cheats, for you, it feels as if a burden has been lifted off. You feel relief as the ring continues its binding upon you through its attunement. You're kind of like, oh, this feels great, you know?
Wow.
Hey,
you know,
Cheats.
you really missed your calling, Marius. You could have been a jeweler. Huh? What?
Hey, Cheats. Congratulations.
On what?
On whatever just happened.
What do you mean?
I mean, you know what? Never mind. You're doing great. Vanya would just look away and pretend she's doing something else.
There's like a tilt, like a full, like 45 tilt of her head, and her hair like flops to the side.
Vizika whispers to Vanya loudly, "Yeah, it's really cute. I mean, like a promise ring or something. I wonder what the promise is."
Hey, what you saying over there?
Oh, nothing.
She like leans over to Marius. What you fucking doing in this ring? What's going on? What's the joke? What's going on with the ring?
There is no joke. There is no worry. As long as you keep that on your person, and I ask that you do, that for no reason you remove it, unless absolutely necessary. Do you understand?
She like narrows her eyes, trying to gauge the seriousness of his intention.
He leans in real close, just so it's between them.
Natasha, I want you to swear to me.
All right, if it means that much to you. Sure. I won't take it off. Besides, it's pretty. I like pretty things sometimes. You know? You trudge around in the grime. I'm a girl, still. She like backs away, like rolling her shoulders.
Pushing himself upright. He's gonna look and sort of step away for a moment, go get some air.
She will plop down and ever try to put a comedic relief into her life and push away any seriousness by kicking her feet and looking at her pretty new ring. Oh, wow! Look at it.
Vanya is gonna go closer to take a look as well.
Vizika's gonna come up and like she's not tall enough to nudge her in the arm, so she's gonna like elbow her leg like.
Hey, look at that! It's kind of crazy, right? I have to polish up my legs, and she goes ting 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 ting, like tapping on her legs. It's covered in muck and dirt.
Gareth would sidle up next to Marius, just kind of look in the same direction as him, and he would just say, "It's clear to me that she means a lot to you, and if there's ever anything I can do to assist, just let me know, and I'll be there."
There's an amused sound from beneath the helmet. The other hand coming up and sort of patting Gareth's shoulder.
You've done more than enough already. Your continued support is... I can't even put a value on it.
Well, get used to it.
I will.
Gareth will just fall silent.
All right. Well, before we continue on, how about we take a little bit of a bio break? Does that sound good with everybody?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was about to open my drawer.
I've got to piss in this drawer so hard. All right. We will be right back. Hello, Ionians. We wouldn't have IOverse without our Patreon, so I wanted to let you know what we have to offer. By joining our Patreon, you're doing more than just supporting the streamed campaigns of IO. You're also supporting a brand new tabletop startup with IO Publishing and getting great value because of it. Joining gives you immediate access to MP3s of previous sessions, premier access to content featured on the IOverse, including tokens for your virtual tabletops, and early access to music created exclusively for the IOverse, but Also, you get access to professionally made 5e content, custom encounters, mechanics, subclasses, and more, available in professionally made digital PDFs for use in your own 5e systems, including the world's greatest role-playing game. Before you decide, why not give it a try? We have free content available, including a map of the shattered planet of Io, and immediate access to our custom Rackling race, along with 4 Rackling lineages, all with beautifully crafted, professionally made art. What are you waiting for? Sign up today at patreon.com/worldofio, or type !Patreon in the chat right now to get a link. Thank you to everyone who has supported the Patreon. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back.
Hey.
Hi.
Now we're back. Hey, what's up? How's it
Hey.
going?
Hey!
I definitely unmuted the wrong screen, and I don't want to like go to the Patreon and then be like, Petror, lol, Omega lol, Petror. All right, so now that everyone is not AFK, and you have dispensed of the items that you have discovered, is there anything more you wish to do at the Colbert ruins? Are you ready to press on to the ancient prison ruins to see why some of these restless are coming from the prisons?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right. The journey is about, I'd say a few hours. It's actually relatively close to the Colbert ruins. Okay, so I will do this. So, as you guys arrive over to the old prison ruins, these prisons, the same with any ruins that you have spotted around Asmodia, typically are centuries, up to 1,000 years old after Asmodia had fallen to the Lords of Shadow, and this was no exception. The poor prisoners were left sealed away in their jail cells once pretty much the apocalypse was happening in Asmodia. The prisoners were left to suffer, perish, and die, as there was no one left to support them, no one left to guard them, and it really just showed what humanity was capable of in its darkest moment. And a reflection of such can be said here as you arrive outside the ruins of these prisons. You would imagine, as you sort of like walk around the surface of the prison ruins, that there would be restless wandering about, but something else catches your surprise. Something else catches you off guard, and that would be the fact that the surface level of the prisons, of these prison ruins, as you walk in, have various vagrants and homeless individuals that are trying to survive out here in the ruins of these prisons. And so did you say marry them or bury
I did say
them?
let's marry them.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys, and if there's any preparation that you would have done along the way, please let me know. But as you guys walk into the ruins of the prisons, you'll kind of see not just these three people, there's just a bunch of them sort of just look up, scanning their eyes over you as you enter the area. What would you be doing as you look around surrounded by these? Oh, I see. Gain some temporary hit points. That's a smart idea. Marius gains temporary hit points. But yeah, you can sort of enter. If you have any questions or if there's any actions that you would take at this moment, please let me know.
When you say like vagrants, like they've set up like small homes, like a shanty town, effectively.
It's a very piss-poor shanty town. A bunch of tents. Some of the ruins of the buildings are kind of like makeshift rebuilt to provide some sort of shelter. One thing you do notice, though, Marius, no sources of food. No void potato, no potato farm fields, no wheat fields at all. And yeah. They still seem to be gathered around, staring directly towards you.
How, what, Asmodia as a whole, especially, where we came from Colkirk, what's Colkirk's sort of standing on the homeless? Do they take in those living, or are there certain prerequisites to living in Colkirk?
I'm trying to think if your character would know that. Would your character have taken an interest in knowing Colkirk's politics and like how that actually works?
His family would be involved in
Gotcha.
In politics of Asmodia.
Gotcha. Okay, then. Then I would say give me... let's do a history check, unless you think there is a better skill that you would like to attempt to do to discern this
History works fine.
information. Okay. 17. So, as you would have known from the politics of Colkirk gaining a brand new farm, Colkirk only, sadly, accepts people behind the walls that have something to offer the Sentinels. Something that allows Colkirk to maintain its fortification. Unfortunately, it just simply doesn't have the resource to take on anyone and everyone that approaches the doors. The fortunate part over in the Kinhollow farm, when the Lady Kinhollow approached the Sentinels, was that you would assume the Sentinels knew that the farm would be an excellent resource for Colkirk, and that's why she was accepted and welcomed beyond the walls and joined as a hunter of shadow. Because Kinhollow is now, as mentioned before, established property of the Sentinels. So when it comes to vagrancy and those that approach the door, the gates, the question is simple: what can you offer? Otherwise, a lot of people have to be turned away. Sometimes there are exceptions where people are welcomed in because there is enough food to feed a larger populace. But for the most part, people outside Asmodia have to fend for themselves. And these are those people.
And how big was Kinhollow farm?
Pretty sizable. The wheat supplies were larger than some of the potato fields that were in Colkirk. It may provide a excellent surplus to Colkirk in the future, but those numbers have not been crunched by the Sentinels yet as to how many people could be accepted with the addition of the farm.
Okay.
As you're estimating and figure this out, this individual will slowly walk up over to you. And he'll say, greetings, friend. Humble Burdett is my name. A pleasure to meet you. And he'll kind of give a little bow to you, like a sort of like hobbly bow. As he speaks up over to you, you'll notice the rest of the vagrants sort of just look down onto the ground as if to ignore this man. But he approaches the five of you. Outsiders, I see.
Hello, yes, we've, come to check the place out, maybe take care of some restless.
Pleasure to meet you.
Oh, you as well.
He'll offer his hand with covered in matted gloves.
The paw reaches out and shakes heartily.
He shakes heartily as well. So polite, so full of energy.
Oh, yes, well, we've just, had quite a few successes. You see, we're, budding shadow hunters.
Oh, the shadow hunters, everyone. And, the sound of that,
Oh, God.
get some insight checks for those that would be observing the area.
Gareth has been keeping his eye on the other vagrants who have not approached, for sure.
Yeah.
Vizika's staring at the one that she's shaking hands with. I'd like to roll one if that's possible.
Yeah, please.
Ah.
Yes.
What a nice man!
Uh-oh.
My people.
Cheats. As you look around the sound of shadow hunters, you'll watch as the other vagrants kind of try to get out of eyesight of you all. Almost as if they don't... Almost as if they're hesitant with you being here. But only cheats would be observant of that.
Yeah, we're just passing through the area, you know, taking care of any restless that we see wandering around, and, well, ultimately this isn't our destination, but we thought we'd swing by.
He smiles and says, "Ah, restless. Well, I have very important information about that. See, there's rumors that there is dozens upon dozens of restless underneath our very feet, in the jail cells down below. Maybe you should..." And then you'll see this dwarf kind of like kick up, and he'll just sort of shout, "Burn it! Leave these hunters alone. Enough of your scheming. Go on now." Burdett rolls his eyes and says, "Very well. These people are far too cautious. If you're looking for a real hunt, feel free to reach me out. I've got all the information." You'll see him slowly like back away into one of the protective areas. This dwarf
Vizika nods and grins at him as he leaves.
This dwarf sort of walks over to you. He pulls up his hat, and he'll say in a more hushed tone, so that the others can't hear, as Burdett continues to walk off deeper into the area. He'll pull off his hat, and he'll say, I'm mighty sorry about Burdett. Doesn't do well with strangers.
Sorry for what?
Think nothing of it. We are fine over here. Nothing for you to worry about. I understand you as hunters are... He kind of pulls off his hat and he's squeezing it a little bit. Always looking to give a helping hand from beyond the walls of your precious city. But we're fine here, we assure you. You're free to carry on with whatever hunt you're in the middle of.
So Vanya will kind of interrupt and say, "Oh, so if we were to go down there, are you saying that we would find nothing?"
He mutters.
No,
under
he's
his
saying
breath.
they're clearly strong enough to kill all of the restless that are down there. I'm just curious how they got there in the first place. How many are there? Hundreds? Thousands?
Werfin remains quiet and says, there are a few straggling restless, sure, but it's within the safeties and the confines of the prison, you see. They leave us alone, and we don't worry or endanger ourselves.
Good sir, you understand that some of these restless have already traveled so far as to go to Colbeer and have begun wandering into the tunnels. They are a threat not only to your people, but the people of Kolkirk.
He looks down at this, and he'll just state, so that's why you're here. Because trouble's at your doorstep. You've left us abandoned for so long. We've had to fend for ourselves, but now that a few restless are banging at your door, now you come out from your safety?
Hey, now.
Good sir, I can assure you, it's not because we found them at our door. We found them while clearing the Colbeer ruins.
Look, you don't understand what's going on here. what we've had to sacrifice. I would ask you not to look into the matter any further. While this conversation is happening, this elvish woman will go behind Gareth and sort of tap her tap him on the shoulder.
Hello.
While this conversation is happening, you'll see she kind of does this a little quietly, a little silently, as to not get this individual's attention. And she will whisper to you and say, when you have a moment, I wish to talk to you. But then she'll kind of slunk back a little bit. The dwarf will continue and state, look, the people here are fine, and that's because we stay out of the jail. It's what we're supposed to do. I would ask if you have any sympathy whatsoever. You've turned us all away before, so we feel the right to turn you as well. Leave us be. Take whatever rest you need and then go. You don't understand what's happening here.
I mean, you could tell us. I've been from a bad place before.
We're apprentices, and we're trying to do a mission to prove ourselves to become fully fledged shadow hunters. We didn't know about the situation here at all. Nobody's really talked about it, so maybe those back in town don't know about it either. But I'm sure they would have sent help if they did know. We've been sent all over the farms around there as well, and go out of the way to do any job, big or small. So perhaps word just didn't make it by in the past, I don't know how many weeks or months or years you've been dealing with this. But we're here now, and if you need any help, we're willing to lend a hand.
Apprentices.
Well, at least I am.
Starry-eyed apprentices. Well, I'm sure your heart's in the right place, but...
Good sir, do not patronize us. I do
There's no
wish to offer
stars
you
in our
aid.
eyes.
I mean,
Let's see some persuasion checks, guys. He seems very close-lipped for those that are currently trying to push the narrative.
Oh.
Ooh.
Push the envelope.
Push the envelope, yes. All right. The dwarf will look down to himself. He'll look over to you. You speak as if your city is looking to help us. But why do you think we camp here in the ruins of a prison? We've been turned away. Told there wasn't enough food for the lot of us. Told to check back in a year following, where things may improve. And that was after waiting for 3 months. We have gained a new source of food. From a source that you may not like.
Gareth looks at Vizika.
Can I roll an insight on that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As a fellow strange thing consumer.
she's like, hold my man bet.
As you look at him and he's trying to explain this, he knows for a fact that what he has to say could potentially ruin what he's trying to answer your question without dooming everyone that's here. And he'll just follow up, because of your persuasion, he'll follow up and say, we are under the banner of an entity from the shadow.
I fucking knew I knew.
What?
The warden, he's called himself. He resides underneath. We leave him alone, offer a few things in return, and in exchange, the warden keeps us fed and keeps us protected. More
You
than
offer
you ever
him
done.
what?
He looks around to the other people, and you'll just see her scream. We offer We offer him our own.
You what?
What?
She looks up, and you'll hear him as he just kind of continues. He goes, he'll go, Imra, please. And she says, no. Your brother is down there. My daughter is down there. Being transformed into who knows what. Troll blood? Restless? He's building an army down there. And you want to remain ignorant so that we keep our bellies full? She spits down to the ground. I would rather die.
Whoa. Whoa.
He looks down, ashamed.
Vizika reaches out a paw and puts it on his leg.
It's been some hard times, and there's a lot of moments where even we went hungry in the main city. They weren't lying to you about not having a lot of food supply, but we're still working on the situation, trying to improve things and make things better. How many of you are there? Well, how many of you are left?
He looks up. We're well over 200 in populace, scattered around the jail cells. The warden promises much and has kept to his word. Our bellies full, and ourselves mostly protected. Occasionally, we will be asked to assist from down underneath, but no one's ever returned, and we don't question it.
What's the population of Colkirk?
Colkirk's a small town, so I would say 800 to 1,000.
Okay. How big was Kinhollow Farm?
Kinhollow Farm, I mean, it's definitely not that big. 2 people and a couple of farm hands were operating Kinhollow Farm. But also, Kinhollow Farm now belongs to the Sentinels.
Yeah. So basically what I'm trying to think is if the logistics would make any sense, for even if it were to be tight, but Vizika is effectively trying to figure out if they would be able to go back, like once they're done their mission, and put a good word in and say like, hey, these people still need help, they've been waiting, or if 200 people would be just absolutely impossible for Colkirk to support, like under any circumstances.
You're free to make an investigation or an intelligence check.
Oh gosh, which one? Investigation or intelligence? Investigation is a -1. Intelligence is also just -1. She's not very smart.
Yeah. You are unsure of the logistics of what 200 more people would do to Colkirk.
Okay. All right.
Well, look, I don't know how bad things are in Colkirk right now because I'm not exactly in any sort of administrative position or anything. I mean, I'm out here with like blood on my paws and whatnot. But there was a farm that recently had a few people killed on it, and well, the Sentinels acquired the farm. Perhaps it could be expanded. Maybe they could use more farmhands now. When we swing back through this place after we're done doing whatever we need to do, we could speak with the people there and pass along an urgent message.
Persuasion check. He looks over to you and he'll inquire further. How big is this farm? Can it support all of us?
Well, it wasn't that big, but the land's around it, there's a lot of space around it. Maybe it could be grown, and Colkirk has dealt with tight food supplies before. Maybe half a year or a year of it being a little tighter wouldn't be too terrible. Whatever this warden is, I mean, going hungry for a little bit longer seems like a better plan than feeding your own children to this thing. You might as well eat them yourself.
What? Imra looks down as you say children. And you see yourself, and she's also like, what?
What the fuck?
Had me there till the end. Burdett will walk up behind the dwarf, wide smile on his face, and he says, well, if you think you can save us from the tyranny of the warden, then I would be happy to show you the way. It's right over there, down there at the tower. The stairs descend down underneath the earth to the actual prison. The dwarf looks over at him, disapprovedly, and just annoyed, angered. But Burdett continues. Well, you are capable shadow hunters, are you not?
Yeah, but we're not stupid ones.
Well, surely you want to test your steel, right? The warden's right underneath there. A pure, full-fledged shadow devil.
Is he really big?
Oh, he's huge. Or rather large in size, if I were to put a category in it.
Who made the deal?
He looks over, and the dwarf will turn over and say, there was never a deal made. The warden showed up about 6 months ago, stated that if we were obedient and stayed out of his way and occasionally offered him a soul or two, that he would keep us fed and keep us protected. Who are we to deny him? He is
What's
a devil.
He been feeding you?
Well, from my understanding, it is a transformed form of a food that has rotted down there for hundreds of years. Using whatever magics he has, he's able to revitalize the mass. Food, rotten or not, it provides nutrition. It provides sustenance. It provides us with happier times.
You might as well slake your thirst on the blood of devils.
Well, like Vizika said, eat your own. That's basically what you're doing.
If he's using the souls of your family members to fuel his magic, then yeah. Maybe that food lasts a little longer. But the principle's the same.
You're eating people, dude.
And I know what it is to be desperate. But if you can change your situation, now, if you're being offered help, a better alternative. If you have any brothers left that you don't want to lose, or maybe get those back if it's not too late.
The dwarf will look down. Your arguments and your persuasion has... He's listening. He's taking it in. But he feels absolutely and utterly defeated. He came in with fire in his spirit, ready to send you away, but now he isn't sure what's right anymore. Then he looks down, tightening his hat further, and he says, as the warden before us, we're powerless to stop whatever you decide. If you have a duty to accomplish, and you wish to kill our only form of protection, who knows? Maybe we're just beyond our lifespan. Do whatever you wish. I will not interfere.
I would ask this of you, good sir. You were born here in these lands, were you not?
I am. Wandered these lands for quite some time.
Raised underneath this veil. These sunless plains. Then I would say this. The protection that that devil offers you is minute. It is costly and always will be. But you, a man of Asmodia, corrupted though this land may be, can be made better by your actions and choices, not damned by them. We, together, not just the people of Kolkuk, but you and I, all of us, we can make Asmodia better. And it starts here. But we need your help.
Roll a persuasion, please.
I'd like that.
Should I assist?
With this, there would be no assisting. Marius is trying to make a plea currently from his own heart and soul.
I mean, okay.
Vizika, nodding along, just adds on.
You have kept your people safe for this long, 200 of them. And that's pretty damn impressive, if I do say so myself. If you don't want our help, and if the restless here aren't leaving the premises and it's all self-contained, well, we could leave you quietly now and go back and report to Kolkuk and let them decide if they want to bring more shadow hunters here to firmly deal with the problem and bring you all into safety. But who knows what could happen between now and then? And how many more of your people might be demanded as payment for a few more months or a few more weeks?
So to follow up with what you've said and what Mary's have said, just to see where his spirit is at. He is not inspired, but just sort of like crushed by the weight of it all. It's finally all like coming down on him, essentially. He's not resistant to you or whatever you wish to do, or even saying what you're doing is wrong. He is lost. And with the spiritual speech brought up with Marius, he'll kind of like look up dejectedly and just say, "There's no food out here for outsiders. And some of us are desperate. Do whatever it takes to survive, and you," looks up over to Vizika, "I can't, with good conscience, tell you that restless and troll blood and threats aren't wandering out of the prison. I can't tell you with a good heart what the warden's objectives are here. And if he is an enemy of your war, I can't tell you any of it. What I can tell you, though, is I won't interfere. I will assist you and point you where to go if you wish to fulfill your duty, but please," and he looks back at Marius, "spare me the lecture of duty, of what a good Asmodean should do. You've been protected behind those walls. You keep your belly fed. You haven't suffered like I have, and I will hear no more of it."
She looks like she's about to blow a fuse at this guy before she just kind of crosses her arms and stands next to Marius.
Marius looks at his prosthetic arm, his prosthetic leg.
Perhaps I haven't. But you are right. If the others are able and willing, we will deal with this warden.
We're defenseless. Whatever you decide to do, we can't stop it, nor will we. We've sacrificed so much. We won't turn on our own. But if there is some solace, and this is where he kind of gets a little bashful, especially after his stern, essentially "fuck you" response, he'll look up. "If you're to venture down the jails below, my brother was recently offered up, along with Irma's daughter. If they are still alive down there, Perhaps you can bring them back up here, so that I may apologize personally. If you do manage to dispatch of the warden, we will leave these accursed lands. We try turn K, but there is another threat over there as well. This land is taken over by devils.
Well, you can rest assured that the shadow demon here is using you, and we'll put it into it and do what we can to help.
Lobos, just so you know, you're cutting in and out.
Oops, sorry.
No, you're good.
Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I heard you, but I just want to make sure you knew that.
Sure.
You'll give a reluctant nod. Meanwhile, Birdit is just all smiles. Finally, someone that makes sense.
What is your stake in this?
Are you looking over at Birdit over here?
Yeah.
He shrugs a little bit and says, well, sure, the warden has fed us, kept us protected. We've lived this long. What? I have no stake either way. I've always managed to survive up to this point. What's one more obstacle? And he gives a rather, I would say unsettling, but definitely kind of like a slimy smile. Like he's a grifter or something.
Yeah.
So, what was that information you had for us?
Oh,
That
well.
information?
Well, you managed to pull it out of the old man. Most impressive indeed. That was the information. Oh, and where I can take you to the prison cells. The entryway to the warden's domain. So that you can slay that beast once and for all. And free these humble people of Asmodia.
You're not gonna lock us in there, are you?
Absolutely not. I don't need to.
Do shadow entities bleed differently?
Good question. I'd say yes. Some bleed red, others will be different. There's definitely different entities of devil, because there's a lot of separate offspring. There's, of course, the Asmodians that were possessed by and were not rejected by the fragments of the Astari Shadow from the Shadow Veil. And then there were all sorts of other offspring and new bloodlines that were born from that. So some bleed red, some bleed blue, some bleed purple, some don't bleed at all.
And you're a man of your word.
That I... What? Would just lock you down under there?
There's a nod.
Why would I do that? Look, I don't have to show you where it is. I'm sure this dejected old man would be happy to. He kind of pats over the dwarf's back. The dwarf kind of gives a look, but the aggravated look that he gave Birdit before is just sorrow. He just doesn't have it in him anymore.
Just your word or so. And a handshake.
What is this? Fine. You have my word, almighty hunter. And he just kind of like almost like flamboyantly offers a hand.
Please, call me Mars.
And he's gonna grip his hand and with that middle finger prick the back of his hand to see how he bleeds.
Ah! A deep red blood. The hells? He shakes his hand a little bit. Satisfied?
Yes.
He kind of like suckles at the blood a little bit and just tears a piece of fabric, just dirtied fabric, wraps it around the wound. This woman, Imra, will go behind Gareth and say, well, I suppose the silent talk isn't needed for enough. Werfin over there has been very much a keep your head down and we'll live through this kind of person. It wasn't only until my daughter was chosen that I just want something to change. I would much rather go in her place. I would much rather perish than have her as part of a devil's ploy. If you are going to go down there, please. If she's still alive, please. Find her. Tell me of her fate.
Do you have any information that would aid us?
Well, his brother, of course, is a dwarf. My daughter is an elf. There shouldn't be, living-wise, anyone else down there. We're still uncertain what the warden does to them. But I'm pretty sure he's looking to build an army.
Does the warden ever make an appearance above ground?
Very, very rarely.
Very well. Anything else you could say that could aid us in our advance on him?
She looks down. The warden is not alone. He has two followers, heralds. I don't know what you would call them, but they speak on his behalf. They're entities that have tapped into powerful magics. I believe once upon a time they were even human, before they accepted the full ire of Shadow.
Very good. Well, I thank you for that, and we will look for your daughter.
Thank you. I wish I had more to offer, but my thanks is all I can give.
Save it for when we get the job done. Thank you for your help.
She nods. And kind of returns back to, like, the wreckage. Werfin will sigh and say, look, I worry for what the future will bring, but if you're going to go under there, I know you're doing it in an attempt to save us. They'll say that in air quotes. And so, I was keeping this for a rainy day, in case the injuries were ever too severe. And he'll look over at the one he had the most positive interaction with, which would be Vazika. He opens up his pockets and pulls out an old potion of healing he found some time ago.
Wow.
This is all I can offer you. It's all I have.
She'll reach out both paws for it, give him a big, very genuine smile, and say,
we'll do our best. And you know, whatever happens, wherever you end up going after this, it's better than losing your people one by one. At least elsewhere, you'll have another chance. A better chance.
He'll dejectedly nod. He knows your words are good and from a good place, but he just doesn't have the heart to believe them.
okay.
And he goes, right, well, so since we're done with the sentimentality, I will take you now to see the warden, yes?
Yeah, sure.
And you'll just kind of watch as he just will walk over. As you guys begin to follow Burdit, he kind of like follows one of the looping paths. You'll see all these buildings caved in and destroyed as just you begin to see the dozens upon dozens of vagrants that are just trying to live their best life. you'll see one of them still eating a sense of purified gray matter food, offered, assuming by the warden. The food itself has a visual appearance of being rotted, but they eat it easily and without sickened expression. You'll actually see one of them seems to be enjoying it. It's unknown how the shadow magics affect the quality of the food, if it provides some sort of nutrition or other thing. But yeah, Burdett will take you over to a stairwell that descends deep underneath the earth. And will state, well, here's the entrance to the prison. Oh, do be careful on the way down. The warden's not alone. He's building an army. And if you wish to go against that, well, by all means, be my guest.
Yeah. So we've heard.
Thanks.
With that, you all descend underneath the earth into the ruins of the prison. I don't hear a no, so here we go.
We're going.
I want adventure. I know what I'm about. This is a betrayal, but I'm ready.
All right. So,
Are you?
1 second.
He does have 4 bonus health.
I can take 1 dagger stab.
I'll take that by taking drugs.
Gets
Thank you.
fireballed.
Indeed.
I'm glad you got that temporary health. Let me go ahead and take that away.
All right.
Good day.
You guys begin to walk down the bottom into a very darkened area. Wait, everyone has night vision, right? That's right. Well, then, yeah, this is what you guys would see. I mean, your tokens are able to see if you have night vision, as long as you're not looking at a completely pitch black screen. You're good to go. So,
I immediately noticing that it's pitch black down here. I'm gonna activate my Eye of Shadow.
doubling your dark vision.
Indeed.
1 moment, please.
Dark vision.
Now your dark vision has been amplified to 120 feet.
I have that as well and would like to activate.
Very well! Your
Yes!
dark vision will also be amplified to 120 feet.
I have that as well.
I also have dark vision.
I would also like to do...
Me too.
Wow, we're so dark.
Grant me eyes, Daddy.
Oh my.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I'd like to sniff around and see if there's like any airflow. Basically just, and if there's any smells coming from any direction, or if it's just hella stagnant down here.
Okay. By the way, you guys liking the spooky music now that you're in a full-fledged fucking dungeon? By the way, you're in a full-fledged fucking dungeon. Let's go.
Fuck yeah, we are.
Was it nose and
Fuck yeah.
rolls.
I use this sound
Perception.
effect. I use this sound effect. I know this ambience.
Hey, DMs don't reveal DM secrets. Shut up.
Uh-oh.
How's it a secret? We're listening to it right now.
Sorry, I didn't remember if it was investigation or
Perception.
perception. Oh, well, should I keep that because it sucked?
Incorrect. You would roll perception.
Wow, thanks.
Hey.
God damn.
I mean, it stinks to all high heaven here. But the
Okay.
air is not stagnant, which means movement happens here rather frequently.
Okay. And is it like non-stagnant as it, like people are moving the air around down here, or is it like there
Correct.
might be other exits?
As in, people are moving the air around.
Okay.
Oh, it's seems pretty busy down here. Be careful. And quiet.
I ain't feeling so good about all this, you know?
As you all begin your advancement deeper into the dungeon, a voice echoes in the area. Who enters my domain? As you will then see an illusion of what you would only assume be the warden. A tall, this tall devil stands
he's
before
hot.
you, about 11 feet or so, decorated in the sort of the bastardized robes of the ancient Astari race. Masked and veiled over his eyes, he stares down again. State your purpose here.
We come to end your tirade here.
Not the best starting sentence.
Ah, hunters. I was wondering when you'd be arriving. I had been here for 6 months now. And you have done nothing? Are your numbers that weak?
We were not aware of your tiny scheme.
He lets out a grin. And he says, it's not the matter that it's tidy. I just don't like to make a big flash of it. I think it's rather massive, really, in the right light.
Not the size of the army.
I'd like to think that in canon, where everybody just breaks down laughing at his.
What are you laughing at?
No, my man got booty hurt. No.
Okay, you're making a dick joke now, is that so?
Well, it's your dick that is the joke.
Oh. All right, I've had enough of this. And then you'll see the illusion will fade away, and then you'll hear 3 large, loud pounding over here. And with the 3rd slam, 2 altered troll bloods will walk out of the shattered area, ready to engage in battle.
They look sick.
But we will see what happens. Next time on Shout Out Vesmodia. Thanks for playing, everyone. And that a dick joke. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, yay! Starts with P drawer, ends with dick
We're
joke.
such shitters.
Yeah, it's fine. That's the D&D experience, is being a shitter.
I was not
making
ready.
fun of
RP yet, though,
demons.
right?
Yeah. Wait,
Has
what'd you
there
say?
been poop RP?
Has there been poop RP?
No.
Yeah.
I think so.
No.
Hmm.
What?
Oh, no. That was just a question.
Are you trying to check off all the cursed RP that you possibly can do?
Maybe.
No,
Sorry.
we're just pieces of
Maybe.
shit. That's what I'm saying,
am.
Bloody. We're not shitting, we're shitters.
Shitters, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. There's a
Yes.
difference.
Did you guys have fun today?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Good. I'm sad to say.
Yes.
I'm sad to say that.
That you didn't?
No, of course
Oh.
I had a great time. What I'm sad to say is next Wednesday we're taking off, I believe. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch.
yes.
Watch.
You,
Yeah.
For what reason?
Lobos and I are to blame for that.
We're going to a
Very.
5-day RP event, so
Oh my!
I can't
It's,
I
it's
can't
a-
put
it's a
blame on you
LARP.
guys.
It's a
It's a-
LARP.
It-
we're gonna go
can't
freaking
go.
LARP.
Girdle
Oh,
LARP.
that's awesome.
You're
Right.
not inviting us? What?
Come along.
What?
Come along.
Oh, we are invited. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh! Wait! I didn't think you would.
I'm coming down with something. Sorry.
I thought everyone. Well, I don't know where Naomi is, but I thought everyone here is from, besides and me, of course, from the same state. I think, right?
What? Really?
Oh,
Are
On
we all
God?
in Texas?
Wait,
On God?
what?
I think
We are in
so.
Texas.
No?
Oh, I'm wrong. My bad. I assume everyone's either
Yo.
from Texas, California, And that's about it. So
The
if it's
meetup was about to be wild.
oh,
Right.
sad. Never mind. That's why I said
I'm
I
from
think
the land of corn.
corn.
Nebraska?
Wow.
I love corn.
Oh,
Coin.
Now.
Most wonderful thing.
The land
Coin.
of
Let's
corn.
go.
He's coin.
Hey, you guys want to do some bingo?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's either California, Texas, or for some reason Chicago. I seem to know a lot of people from
Chicago?
Chicago.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know.
That I know people from Chicago.
Yeah,
Are
I
you-
don't know. Maybe
You're lying, Brad.
That's so bold.
I think
That's so bold
I
of
think
you.
that's true.
I don't know about that. I don't know about all that.
Oh yeah, you know Chicago? Name
Chicago
every
friends?
person.
Charlie.
Oh wow, that is every person.
Oh my god, he's right.
Oh my god.
Here's the funny thing about that. This is the second time someone's like, "Oh yeah, you know this? Name every whatever." And I just say one word, and then people go, "All right, that's everything."
Yeah,
I think
that's all I wanted.
it was
Thanks.
Minecraft. I said if during my morning stream, I said I love Minecraft, and someone in chat was like, "Oh yeah, name every block," and I went dirt.
Perfect.
Solid.
There-
Solid.
And the
Yep,
chat,
thanks.
chat was like, "Oh my
Yep.
god, that's every
Checks
every
out.
block."
That's every block.
Holy,
Checks out.
holy
He,
shit!
he really likes that game.
Holy
fuck.
shit! He knows
Wasn't
Minecraft.
lying.
Anyways,
He's
I'm getting-
crafting.
I'm getting distracted. Let's do.
Are you?
You know what? I was going to ask Dungeon Master. I mean, it is my birthday.
Happy.
Maybe we could play for like another hour or so.
Oh, I see. Well, okay.
Maybe next combat.
Uh,
Maybe that'd be pretty cool.
Okay, so normally this is where I would say, hell yeah, let's go. But 11 a.m. is already way past my bedtime, and I'm old, so I do need to wrap up.
11 a.m. What?
Yeah.
Or 11 p.m. 11 p.m. Sorry,
I was like,
I don't even
oh,
know
yeah.
what time it is. I'm
Oh,
so
11 a.m., so you went to bed? Okay.
old. I otherwise if this was like a 4 o'clock game, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's do it.
I'll
Let's go
remember
for
this
it.
for my next birthday, and I will hold it over your head.
Yeah. Well, you do
Damn.
get absolutely nothing in the D&D game for it being your birthday, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, wow, harsh.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want inspiration. I want to play for longer.
I know you're the first. You know what? Here's the thing. You're the first person to ever be like, "Hey, I could just play. We can play for longer because it's my birthday." You know, and so that's.
That'd be pretty fun.
I will remember that. I will remember that. All right. Into the Shadows Breach, episode 6, Temple Run. Let's generate the card. Did we get a nat 1? Yep.
I got 2.
Yeah.
Oh man, poor
Wait, are you gonna go
Lobos.
share this with us, please?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
sorry.
Yeah.
I knew I was forgetting something. I apologize. Please.
Yeah.
was us. You forgot us.
Who does
How did you do
that?
this?
Forgetting. Oh, 5 people. Yikes. Okay. The party goes to the ancient prison. Nodders. Camp
Barely made
RP.
it there.
Nodders.
Nodders.
More restless combat. Nopers.
I was
Team
pretty restless. I was combating myself.
Yeah.
Team
Fighting your
combo
demons.
attacks. No, but I do want to add this. I do want to do some fucking Chrono Trigger dual tech up in this shit.
Oh, shit.
Marius shows
shit.
what's under the mask. Guys, you are asking for too much too soon.
Wow. Wow.
This feels like a second to last episode kind of square. That's what
about
I think.
metaphorical? I mean, he showed a lot of
If at
care
all,
that was
you
under the
know.
mask towards Cheats, like more so than usual. I mean, he gave her a ring, so like, you know, his
ring.
mask of hard
Nopers!
emotion. Okay.
Nopers! Party meets new NPC. Yep. That's a yes.
Wait, 3 of them.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
yeah, you met a bunch of them. Yeah. Vizika, put that thing down. I don't think Vizika did put that, there. Oh
Well,
boy.
He was asked for this the pitons.
Pitons.
Yeah, but I think it's more of like you see a thing of like dog shit and then you just pick it up to really just get a good whiff. It's like Vizika, put that down. Yeah, that's what I look at that as.
It's on her hands.
Noted. You do want shit RP. Okay.
Crowned and Brett share a
You
bin
know what's gonna
there.
happen now.
True.
Buddy
Always.
DM moment.
Yeah, we literally
Nah.
did at the start.
Yeah, it was absolutely the start. Ha, just finished session 2 of notes. What are we at? Session 6?
Let's go.
Let's fucking go! New fishing spot? Nope. New type of shadow energy, yeah. Enemy, yes. You saw the Warden, who was beautifully animated by our resident artist Bird, who did
Very handsome.
Mary did a very good job about that. Nat 20, Nodders. Hydration checkpoint. Get yourself something to drink. Everyone got water? Everyone got some water?
Yes, I'm gonna drink some water.
Yes.
Yes, good, good, good.
No.
Loot distribution, yes. Long range. Oh my god, we keep getting so fucking close.
Wow.
Most of the session is
I
RP,
wish,
no
I
combat. All of the session was RP. Let's fucking go!
Hell yeah.
I'm very proud of myself whenever we have a full session of RP. I'm like, hell yeah, that
Wait a
world's
minute.
evolving.
This bingo is invalid. There is no way to get a full sheet bingo because if you have no combat, you can't have more combat at the same time. This is rigged. It's impossible to win.
They do that. They do that. You gotta gamble a little bit so that way, you know, you can get a little some winning
That's
stuff.
illegal.
I don't know.
That's illegal.
I don't make the sheet. Flirting / seduction
I'm taking it
RP.
up with the bingo committee like immediately.
Well,
Okay.
there you go, bingo
Yeah.
committee. Let's
There you have
remember this.
happening.
We did talk about fish dating sim.
Uh,
Oh, true.
I don't know if I call it RP, but
I think that's a stretch. I think that's a stretch, honestly, personally. I think, you know, give me the full ship, or, you know, don't give me this little rowboat bullshit. Zoomies shows side effect, not Lothar Zoomies. Not yet, no.
Ooh.
Level up. Oh man, guys, you making
was
me
like-
look.
Maybe one day.
You're making me look real bad
There
right
it is.
now.
It's right there.
Marius and Sheet share a
Sorry,
moment.
what? We're leveling up?
Oh, they shared. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cheat
A
for
lot.
speed. What does cheat for speed mean?
Like Need for Speed.
Need for Speed Cheat Edition.
No,
Cheat
I
sheet.
get that, but
No.
like I don't know what. Anyways,
If she
Uh,
went Zoom.
Zoomies.
yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
I did Fate roll. Cursed RP.
Piss guy.
That was the RP. We talked about the piss guy. That didn't actually
I
happen.
don't think it
though.
happened.
No cursed RP.
Wow.
The party investigates the book. Yes. No bio RP somehow.
Somehow.
Wow, we
Look
were
at that.
really.
Look,
We
the
could've
level
had
up.
it.
They could
We
have
can get it right now, Brett. We can get it right now.
Fix this. Fix
You know,
this.
part
We
of me
could get
wants to
right
meme
now.
and
Get it
then
right.
and then just click it and then be like, just kidding. But so I'm not gonna do that because I take level ups very
Question?
seriously. Yes.
Was discussion of enhancing my rod considered flirting RP?
I would approve that. I would approve that. Wait, did we get a bingo? Oh, we did get a bingo. This was-
It was always the rod.
there it is. There it is.
Rod.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
You gotta
Rod
earn.
is our savior.
You gotta earn that flirt space. You can't be
Oh,
like.
yeah.
You can't be like, I flirted, but I want to see some goddamn flirting.
We want to see
Um,
the rod. We get it.
Look, I'm just saying that the more flirting happens in a session, the more fan art of the flirting happens.
boy.
And of the rod. Maybe.
Oh my.
Hey,
I mean, Ayo?
Maybe.
You know, we
he
could have tried
says.
flirting with the warden, and also I totally.
I mean, I'll try to because,
Look,
you know, did
what-
you see him? Did you
Your
see him?
dick's small.
Listen,
Maybe
he
like
it's small for a
degradation.
demon, you know? Like, you know, hey. Yeah. I
Maybe
think
he'll
it's-
show us how we
yeah.
use it. But no, I was so tempted when he was like, "Who goes there?" I was so tempted to be like, "Who are you?
Who's this guy?
Who just came down here? Like,
Yes.
what are you doing?"
Number one dad. Look at him
No.
go.
Oh, Risha.
This one's
adorable.
labeled "Fuck It, Cheats in a Suit." Let's go.
Oh,
nice.
That must be a
Classy.
chainsaw.
Wow.
Fuck it,
Ooh.
everyone else in a suit. Let's go.
Look at that little. Oh my god! Look at the stripes and the tails.
I'm losing it.
Stripes are great.
I like it.
Amazing.
Oh.
No.
But wait a minute.
In a fetal position.
Some people just weren't meant to fish. It's okay.
This is labeled cheats and put the dress on Marius. What the
Look at his cute little dress.
what the ring actually does.
Drugs.
Cheats did
Drugs,
drugs.
damn it!
Here's the second panel.
He wouldn't know if I
Disappointment.
only took 1 damage because you can't half 1, so he
That's
wouldn't
true.
take any damage. See, I just have to roll a 1.
On your D12 die.
Yeah.
Gareth this session.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's so dreamy.
I love it.
my boy. No.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm sick. What can I say?
Wow.
Gotta go fast.
That's cute.
Yeah, we fast as
Very
fuck, boy.
cute.
Who knew a drunkard rackling could be so persuasive?
Look, it's not
She
hard.
does have liquid courage, so, you know.
Very true.
All right, well, guys, 2 weeks. We'll see you
No.
I will
in
miss
2
you.
weeks. I'll miss you guys.
I don't.
Because that's all I've got.
Because we have a Conan Exiles night instead.
Why would you hurt her like
Oh, what have I
this?
done?
Why would you joke about that? Why? So you're gonna break Momo's heart a second time, Lobos, is what you're telling me right now.
Are you lying?
No.
On God?
All right, guys. I'll see you in a couple of weeks, okay?
Hell yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the game.
Bye.
And
Yep. Happy birthday! Woo!